Hi. Welcome to the voice recognition and synthesis presentation. Andres asked me if I can step in and run the show for him. I was like, okay, no problem. So, I'm Ruth, and I'm really good at reading any text you put in front of me. For example, Andres has been kind enough to copy and paste this wonderful PowerPoint that he is presenting to you right now. Except that he wanted me to do the seducing instead of him. So I'll be doing the reading while he's watching to make sure I do a decent job. I'll leave the punctuation to him, and I'll just stick to the script. Also, thank you for coming. Let's get started. So, voice recognition and synthesis. What is it really? Speech synthesis is artificial simulation of human speech with the assistance of a computer or other device. The counterpart of voice recognition. Speech synthesis is mostly used for translating text information into audio information and in applications such as voice-enabled services and mobile applications. As an introduction, I thought I would explain the importance of voice recognition and synthesis in today's world. I'll also provide some examples of how these technologies are being used. I want you to pay attention because at the end you'll be treated to a sample of how the latest AI voice recognition or ASR and synthesis is being utilized. A bit of a mashup, see if you can spot some of them.
So, there you had a sample of what we're talking about. Kind of lacks emotion, doesn't it? That's because that girl, or lady, or whatever you want to call her is from the rival AI engine. Whereas I'm Matthew and part of the Amazon Poly tribe. Or maybe is it because her punctuation was all off? You see, if I put a hard stop instead of a comma, I actually make my point of view clearer. And that's all. What I really care about. Did you catch the period? Look, check it out. That's all I care about. As opposed to, that is all I really care about. Still not getting it? Come on. You're interpreters. Okay, fine. That's why I captioned it for you. But there are also really cool applications out there like Pictory or Synthesis. But more on those later. ASR or automatic speech recognition is essentially what we are speaking about. Is a technology that uses algorithms and machine learning to transcribe spoken language into text. ASR systems convert spoken words into written text, enabling users to interact with computers, mobile devices, and other digital technologies using voice commands. Many say that voice is the future. They just don't mention what voice. The world's technology giants are clamoring for vital market share, with both Google and Amazon placing voice-enabled devices at the core of their strategy. Speech recognition technology entered the public consciousness rather recently. In fact, communicating with technological devices via voice has become so popular and natural.
Hey you, guess who? It's me, Ivy. If Ruth and Matthew had a little download together, guess what? It would be me. The history of the technology reveals that speech recognition is far from a new obsession. As we can see below, major breakthroughs dating back to the 18th century, specifically 1784 with Thomas Edison. Dictation machines, pioneered by Thomas Edison in the late 19th century, were capable of recording speech and grew in popularity among doctors and secretaries with a lot of notes to take on a daily basis. In the 1950s, Audrey, a machine created by Bell Labs, could understand the digits 0 to 9, with a 90% accuracy rate. Interestingly, this accuracy level was only recorded when its inventor spoke. It hovered between 70% and 80% when other people spoke to Audrey. But even more interesting is that for some reason when I said 1950s just before it came out all weird. Instead, I have to spell it out NINETE in 1950s. And then suddenly it makes sense. And in 1986 the NSA in the USA starts using keyword isolation in recorded speech.
And a major development in the computer world today as Massachusetts-based Dragon Systems announced the first affordable computer dictation system that understands standard natural speech. Scott Gervey reports.
When we started this project, we wanted to design a computer program that we ourselves would use.
This was a product announcement where the product was clearly the star. Dragon Naturally Speaking from Dragon Systems is the first general-purpose computer dictation program that recognizes natural speech.
This is only the first step. We have to do a lot more, but But what we're building toward is to humanize them computers, make them very natural to use. So yes, there'll be even more people that can use them.
Existing products from Dragon and competitors IBM, Kurzweil, and Philips force the user to pause between each word or use a limited vocabulary.
Is it perfect? Is it, the computer in Star Trek? No. You've got to remember to speak your punctuation. You've got to train it a little. You've got some things like that. But overall, it's doing a really good job. And that makes it a big step forward.
Dragon, naturally speaking, runs on a Pentium 133 with 32 million bytes of memory. That's well within reach of today's personal computer buyer. The program will ship in June at a price of $695.
It's me again, Ruth. Your favorite voice. Be honest, if you had to choose between the three of us, I'd be your favorite. Right? I mean, I know Ivy is the cutest little download imaginable. But still, you can always have things like this guy, Alexander Wabel, who worked on Harpy, a machine developed at Carnegie Mellon University. A device that could understand entire sentences. It recognized 1,011 words, the vocabulary of an average 3-year-old. So you have things like euthanasia, which could be euthanasia. Or if you say give me a new display, it could be understood as give me a new display. Unfortunately, my AI masters are only binary and really kinda neural at their core. It's not their fault, they're doing their best.